if you want to have ChatGPT up to kind of play around with this, you can. I already created the prompt in ChatGPT to build what I'm going to be building with you all today. But you want to sign into Voiceflow. You want to start a new project. And once you're inside of that project, you'll want to start a new workflow. And that's this button here. And I have Hendo doing this too. That way, if I'm like missing a step or something is confusing, and you see where I am here, I'm in the content, and then I have my various workflows. So you would just click new workflow. It's going to ask you to name it. So you'll want to name it whatever. Actually, I can just do this from the start here. So we'll name this is going to be a community onboarding bot. I wanted to choose something that I felt like we all could actually benefit from. So if you have a newsletter, if you're hosting spaces, this is a great beginner bot that you could add to your website, let people know what you're doing. So the first thing here is you want to add your trigger, and this is just what's going to start your automation. So I'm coming over here to triggers and then scrolling down, and I'm just going to click start. And that's just to indicate that this is the start of the flow. Now, I highly recommend, like I said, you go to the Voiceflow YouTube videos, watch the videos. I'm skipping ahead because I want to just show you that this is not difficult to do, but this is not comprehensive. You'll need to go back and actually watch some things. But what we have here basically is our workspace. And in this workspace, we are building our workflow. So if you think of a workflow and a chat bot, it's a conversation. So think about it as going back and forth, talking, speaking, giving options. Ask yourself, what are you doing here? It's helpful if you want to visualize this ahead of time. That's really helpful if you have something like Freeform, which is a Mac app. If you have notebook and pen, I definitely recommend visualizing the actual workflow. And when I say the workflow, I mean, what are the steps? What are the steps to actually complete this workflow? So for this workflow that we're creating today, I actually put it into ChatGPT, which I recommend you do. So go to ChatGPT. In the Notion template for today, you're going to have all the prompts and everything. So what I'm copy and pasting here, you will have access to that if you registered for the workshop. But I do always start these things in ChatGPT, and I say, I want to build an AI agent with Voiceflow. So let it know which tool that you're using. I'm a beginner. This is my first time. Please keep it simple. And this is what I would like to do. When the user joins or when the user starts the chat, I'd like to welcome them and give them the option, give them 3 different options, okay? So that's kind of the thought process for this. Now on the side here, I heard someone say this and it was really helpful. All of these are the different actions that can happen in your workflow. And think about it as what the chat bot is doing. Okay, so if we say talk, that is what the chat bot is speaking. If we say listen, that is what the chat bot is receiving, so what the user is doing. And then we have this button here, so you can connect it to AI. You can have it go pull in information from ChatGPT for a response. There's this logic button that I have not yet used. This is in the run version or run level, but I have used the API. So here in the dev, you've got JavaScript if you need to add code, API, which I do use for the advanced one. We're not using that in this simple one. And then library I haven't used yet. So the main ones we're using today are talk and listen. This is the most simple type of chatbot you can create, and it's drag and drop. So we're going to start with text, okay? And we start with text. I have my little welcome message here, so I'm just gonna grab my welcome message. But if you're building along, it might actually be better for me to just start typing rather than trying to go back and forth. So welcome to the One Click Creator Community. Something like this, and you're just typing on the side, okay? how can I assist you? So again, this is what your chatbot is saying. And once you type it, you just press here in the space. You don't have to save or anything. It just automatically updates. All right. Now with this block itself, you can do a couple of things. You can change the color. You can change the name. I'm just going to say welcome. And you don't have to do this as you go along. I'm just trying to show you best practice because I actually didn't do this. And now I have so many blocks and they're all the same color and they're not titled. And so I said, when I teach this, this is why it's good to do it first and then, go teach it. Because best practice would be give them colors so that visually, it's differentiated. Now the next thing, so we're asking, this is the first thing that's going to come up, and to connect it. So we want to connect now each part of the workflow, and these are called blocks. So to connect the start to the welcome, we're just clicking this little white button here, and you should see the green come up, you see the little arrow, and you just connect it. All right. Now, there's a couple ways we can test this to see if we've done okay so far. We can click this, we can start the test from here. And of course, I recommend that you test every block, because what you don't want to do is build 4 or 5 blocks and then test it and you're trying to figure out where along the way. That's something I'm learning in this process. You want to build, test, build, test, build, test. So I can test from here. I can also click this run button to run it, but I'm just going to start here. I'm going to hit start. And now it's going to test. Okay, welcome to the One-Click Creator community. So it came up, that's good. And now I can add my different options. So the 3 options that I wanted to do today, we don't necessarily have to do all of them, but I thought, what are 3 cool things that would be good for onboarding? So one, I thought we could ask, would you like to sign up for my newsletter? The second one, I figured we could add an FAQ. And then the third one was a contact button. But again, you can add anything here. I mean, you can add text, links. This is for your basic one. So in order to add options, there's a couple different things. You can add options where the user has to type in. I find this to be much better if you make it as easy for the user as possible and for your own workflow so that it's not getting caught up with user error. So I prefer to give the user options to choose from. If you notice the chatbots I set up, there's lots of like just one click, number. I try to make it super, super easy. Okay, so I'm just trying to come out of here and get back to our options again. So the next thing that we're going to add here are 3 buttons. So I'm just going to go to listen, grab button, and then I'm just going to, it took me so long to figure this out because some of these things are not included in the training. I was putting the button off to the side and creating another block. No, you actually want to attach it to the original conversation. And then you come over here and this is where you add your buttons. Okay, so let's add a couple buttons. If you just want to add one, that's fine, but this is where you add your buttons. So I might say, sign up for my newsletter. Okay. And then here I could say, community FAQs. And I could add another one that says, get in touch. Okay. Any questions so far? Are we good? Can you let me know in the chat? I'd love to know if anyone is actually following along. Make my teacher heart happy. Let me know. Does anyone besides Hendo, star student here, have Voiceflow up and actually building your first simple agent chatbot? Let me know in the chat. All right, so now we have our 3 options. And so from here, we're going to set up, yay, Venkat. So glad to hear that. Thank you. Nikki says, I'm trying. I love it. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and set up 3 different blocks. They're all going to be text. So when the user chooses one of these options, thank you, Joanne. I'm so glad to hear that. We're going to set up what happens next, which is what is the chatbot going to say. So I'm just dragging 3 different ones here. And again, I'm going to do best practice, give these each their own color, and rename them. So this one will be newsletter. This one will be community FAQs. And again, you can make these whatever you want. Okay, Halim is following along. Yes, I love it. All right, and we've got get in touch. Let's make this one a different color. You know I like my pretty in pink. All right. Okay. So now from here, let's start with newsletter. So again, we are starting with, Voiceflow has their course set up. Crawl. What do we do before we walk? We crawl. So crawl, walk, run. What we're doing right now is crawl. So we can make this more advanced over time, but I'm going to teach you first by crawling. So this is going to be a very simple, please subscribe to my newsletter here. And I'm just going to add the link to sign up for the newsletter. Now, the more advanced version of this, which you can absolutely do, is to have them actually sign up. So where they just leave their email and it automatically signs them up. Okay. But again, this is the crawl version. So I'll just say, please subscribe to my newsletter by clicking here and entering your email address, something like that. Okay. And then I would just add the link. Which is AI for Edu Creators. And by the way, you all, there's an entire curriculum there. We did a lot of spaces and newsletters for the first quarter of the year. Let's see if that comes up as a nice clickable link. And it does. Look at that. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one, community FAQs. Now for this is pretty cool. We've been talking about this, Hendo, right? The memory. All right, I wrote a post about it. Sometimes I think we're talking about something and it's actually in my head. I don't know how much we've talked about this, but we've talked about using ChatGPT memories.
We talk a lot. We do talk a lot, yeah.
But yeah, I actually went in for today's workshop and I said, can you just write me 5 FAQs about one-click creator? Like, I didn't say anything else. That's just me depending on memory. And I was actually shocked with what it came up with. So these FAQs that I'm about to put in here came from ChatGPT and ChatGPT's memory. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, the
active
memory function
global online community. Join the OCC is easy. I mean, I didn't write any of this. It just remembered. So this is why it's so important to use ChatGPT as your partner and your assistant, because the more you use it, the more information it has about the projects you're working on, what you're building, and you can access with the memory function. This is huge. This memory thing, oh my gosh. I only recently started saying, hey, can we pick back up on that thing from 2 weeks ago? And it does. It picks right back up. It's incredible. So these are my FAQs. Now let's see what it looks like if I just copy and paste it like that. Oh, this is so cool. I thought I'd have to go in and format it, but this is the formatting straight from ChatGPT. Really nice.
Really That's nice. Amazing. I have one quick question for you because
please.
I got lost. So
please.
you did the block at the start, which was the welcome block, which is the blue one on the screen, and then there's the 3 questions that you've put into it. You then created the 3 other blocks. Are they text blocks?
Yep. So these are all text blocks. And remember, text blocks are what you want your chatbot to actually
Yeah,
say.
cool. I just wanted to confirm. And
Okay.
then how
Yeah.
did you change the color of those? Just
Oh,
for
yeah. So you just click. Do you click or is it a right click? No, hold on. It's a right click. So right click on the
Oh,
colored
perfect.
space. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you.
And what we should be doing is testing each one. So let me actually go back now, and I'm going to connect the sign up for my newsletter with the newsletter one. And then let's practice good practice by testing it. Okay, so I'm going to go back. All right. Welcome to the One Click Creator community. How can I assist you? I've only connected sign up for newsletters, so I'm going to try that one. Okay, and here we go. And this is the actual link, aiforeducators.com. There's lots of content there, people. Lots of content. And then the next one we want to set up is community FAQs. So I'm coming back out here. I'm just clicking the workspace and again, connecting. Okay. And then finally, well, let's test that one. I'm going to test by clicking the run button this time. So again, there are 2 ways to test. Also, you can actually test from the block. So when this gets more complicated and you don't want to go all the way back to the beginning, you only want to test a certain, block. Each block actually has its own play button here. You see that? So that you can test it from the block, which is nice. All right, so we're going to run the test and we're going to test. Oh, wait, what is going on? Oh, that's funny. It's testing my other, wait, how did I get here? I somehow left my last, I don't know what happened. It took me out of where we were. So let me go back. I don't know what, I guess pressing
live
the run
building
button.
live.
Yeah.
No, that's it. That's the one. Nice and tidy.
Okay, good. Here we go. Yeah, get me out of that other one. That other one's got my brain going, but I'm still going to show you all. I'm sure someone here wants to see my craziness. All right, last one, and we're almost done here. Is the get in touch. And for this one, really, really simple. I would love to hear from you. Please click this link to send me an email. And I don't know if you all know this, but you can say mail to : and then add your name. And it actually, hopefully this works, should come up as a link. Yep. Oh, wait, is this going to work? I don't know. I might have to make the whole thing a link. Let's see. But the way that it should work is that when this becomes a link, I don't know if I need that HTTPS. All right, we'll see. We'll see if this works. Is it going to work? All right. I'm not sure if that will work, but it should. I mean, when you create the link mail to with your email, it should work. But all right, so those are 3 different options. Again, you don't have to use those. You can use whichever ones you want. But the final thing that we need to actually do here is create a loop, because you want a way for the user to be able to go back. Now, you could do this a couple ways. You could just add an option after each block to take them back to the beginning. But I'm actually finding I like it, and it's also more efficient to just create one block that gives them all 3 options. Again, that's what I have on my site. And these things will be updated over time, so it won't always look like this. But for now, I find it better to just create one block that says what would you like to do next? And then do the same thing where you're adding your buttons here and give them the same options again. So it's continually taking them on a loop, but at least you know that they get to go through all three options. And I'm totally open to suggestions. I'm sure there are people here that are pros and they're like, no, this is a much better way to do a loop, but this is what I figured out for now. Eventually, I will have other options like exit or go back to the beginning or go to the main menu, but this is what I'm doing for now. So then we have our three options here again, which were sign up to newsletter, FAQs, and contact me, okay? And those are all three. And now what we can do is we can connect all of our blocks. You have to find the little connection point. So it's this little button here. And we want to connect all of them back. Is this making sense? So we just create a loop.
Yep. So far, so good.
All right, well, that's it. I mean, this is our first, let's test it and see how this looks. And then I'm going to show you where to go to integrate it onto your website. So I'm going to start the test. All right, so the first one, sign up for my newsletter, should give me the link, and then it should give me the option, what would you like to do next? So I'll say FAQs. Uh-oh. What happened to the FAQs? Path not connected. That's weird. It looks connected to me. All right, let's try again. This happens sometimes. I've had to like log out, log back in. So don't freak out. I mean, if it looks right, then it probably is. It's just a simple, bug. There we go. Okay. So it worked. You see what I did there? I didn't do anything magical except for erase the connection. So I just deleted, I clicked to delete any connection. You just click on the actual line. Actually, you have to, is it deep click or is it right click? Just give me a moment. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it for this one too. For some reason it didn't connect. So I'll show you how to troubleshoot this. Let me know what questions you have, how far you got, because in a moment I'm going to show you the the more advanced one, but it's really just the behind the scenes of it. But I'm going to reconnect this line here. So to do that, you just click on the connector and then you'll see this option comes up to delete. So I'm going to delete it because it wasn't working in the test. So I don't know why, but deleting and re-adding it seemed to work last time. So let's test again. This is why it's so important to, keep testing, get in touch. All right, and now it worked. Okay, let's see what happens if I click on this. I want to just see if it's going to open up the mail. Okay, so while that's happening, what I want to show you now, so I'm going to come out of this. Once you've tested and everything, you will want to publish. So you'll see, once you're ready to go, you've tested it all, you'll see a button in the top right-hand corner to publish. I made the mistake of trying to get my computer to do something in addition, so it's freaking out on me right now. But if you all are following along, you should just be able to get out of the testing mode. You just have to click on anywhere in the white space or the workflow space. or on any of your blocks. Sorry, I'm having to shut down another browser that's trying to pull up. So let me just get back here. Okay.
It's quite intuitive once you get it moving. The because I copy and pasted the first block that you created, which was the welcome block, copy and pasted that to be the loop, and then added in a different question.
Good, good.
Making it a little bit easier.
By the way, my phone is dying, but I'm on my computer. So if you see me go away, I'll be right back. That wasn't good. I didn't charge my phone enough. All right, so the last thing I want to show you after you publish, I'm not going to publish this, but you'll have the option to publish. Hi, Papa. My son just came in the room. Hi. And he looks so cute. He just got his hair done. People were thinking he's a girl, so his dad started doing his hair. All right. So you come back out here. This final part is easy, but if you do have, and you can implement this on any of your sites. If you have GoDaddy, Wix, you can add it there. So if we come in here to integration, so on the left-hand side, and this is after you publish, you come here to integration and then go to web chat. Okay. Now from here, this is the code that you copy and paste to whatever your website builder is. So we're using Card. You can use GoDaddy, you can use Wix, WordPress, whatever it is that you're using. This is the code. If you scroll down here, you can change the name, the description. You can make it so that the chat starts over every time the tab is closed. I have it for never forget. You can change your branding, your colors. Okay, so I just want to make sure I showed you all that.